grandfather, you're the third generation of the Darbys to be involved in the company. How did it get founded? How did it get started in the first place?
My grandfather was a podiatrist in Huntington, West Virginia, and there was a lot of issues surrounding the quality of treatment in podiatry at the time. It was something that was not generally accepted within the hospital system. They were largely a private practice, and it was just an opportunity to increase the quality of care for a patient base that was misrepresented.
Because the first one had a wooden sole, didn't it?
That's right.
Flat.
That's right. So the traditional wooden-soled post-op shoes at the time, very rigid, totally flat, like you mentioned, and it was this idea to move to a more athletic style outsole.
For the patient's
that's right.
comfort. Yeah. Okay. And then your dad became involved?
Yes, and my dad, out of college, got involved with my grandfather as well. He's now the president. He's been there since 1985, 36 years now. And yes, they welcomed me aboard 3 years ago.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah. And you're going to be moving forward with the business, take it forward into the future. So you've got new processes and things you're looking to introduce. What's your role with the company now?
So I've taken on a project management role where we're working on streamlining processes to make sure that we're developing things with the patient in mind, with the market in mind.
Okay, yeah. Because it's always been a family-owned business, it's still very important it is a family. And I think we all feel that we're part of the DARCO family. But equally, now it's getting so big, it has to become more efficient, more streamlined, have more technical processes in place.
Yes, that's a good point. And it's the same as a family grows. You got to get used to each other, and the bigger it gets, the more you need to talk, and you need to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Absolutely.
And that's certainly a big goal of ours moving forward.
So moving across all the different businesses, so in Europe and America.
Yes, Germany, the UK, the United States, and wherever else we might be tomorrow, making sure that we're all working together. As you know, we all have very different markets, but the same needs within those markets.
Absolutely, and that's the crucial thing.
Exactly.
Telling us about the processes and the sort of things you're bringing into play. What sort of things are you looking at?
So having a global forum for each of these different branches of the company to talk about projects and products that can better serve the patients in their area.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for everyone to join in and come together and make sure that we are representing everybody that we can across the globe. Obviously it's driving development requires input from everywhere that you are developing, everywhere that your product must end up. So a major priority of ours is making sure that we are hearing those voices within the company as well as without.
Yeah. So it can be anybody in the company comes forward with an idea.
That's right.
So nobody's barred from it. Just because you're not a technical specialist, you can't bring... Yeah.
Of course. Well, as you know, we're at a great place right now where there's no one in product development here right now, right? This is a trade show. It's an opportunity to hear about the market, and whether you're on the sales team, marketing, anything within the company, you hear different things about the product from different people. Customer service is a great example of where you're constantly talking to clinicians. You might not have an engineering background, but you have a different perspective than somebody maybe with a more technical understanding of the product.
It's excellent. It's really good. We also wanted to talk about how we introduce new products when we get a prototype of a shoe, how we deal with that. What do you do in Huntington when you get a new shoe in?
So one of the first things we do, something you mentioned earlier, we have it on everybody in the office, of course. Make sure that it's comfortable. We've got a lot of unique feet in the office.
Different.
Everybody is different. And then we have a solid clinical network that we like to get those out to as well, and make sure that we are not only addressing the needs of the user, but addressing the way that a clinician would like to treat that, to meet that need. So making sure that them, in conjunction with the patient, they're both happy out of that meeting. And that gives us a great step forward to move into whether there's continue the development or whether we're ready to go. Getting that clinical and patient input early is crucial.
And one of the things we want to achieve with DARCO products is making sure that people can carry on their lives as normal. So they're not limited by having to wear some form of medical device on their feet.
Of course. And it's something that truly is a daily burden. Whatever level of foot discomfort, foot pain you're dealing with, this is something that at the end of the day, it's about getting you back to your regular life. Normalcy, getting you outside of the house, keeping you doing the things that you enjoy is certainly the priority there.
And thanks, Neat. So one of the key things about DARCO is the quality side of things, quality of products, quality of care. And how do we manage that across the different regions that DARCO exists in?
We're in a unique position where we have multiple locations across the globe, Europe, the United States. We have manufacturing in China. We work in India. So we have a great opportunity to talk with those markets and make sure that we are coming up with a local solution to a global problem as we go region by region. And one of the key things we believe here is that quality of care should not be specific to where you live. It should not be specific to the region of the world where you are at. So that's a big opportunity, that been a big responsibility that we have as a global company, is to make sure that we are hearing all of those voices everywhere that we have an opportunity to, whether that is in Asia, the Middle East, the United States, Europe, obviously. So moving forward, a large initiative that we've started is focusing on product development in those local levels, right? It's a global solution. It can't always be a one-size-fits-all. There is one problem, but there are many different solutions.
But we need that consistency across all the parts of this.
Exactly. Okay. So moving towards a more consistent approach, definitely a priority.
Yeah. And of course, DARCO being known for the quality of its products, all the research and investigation that goes into them.
Yes, quality is very important to us. It is, that was the genesis of the company, as you mentioned earlier. It was a wooden sole post-op shoe. Yeah. And this was an advancement in technology, and there was, back then, lots of pushback, and it's price, it's changed, but it's, regardless of those things, it's moving everyone we can towards a more quality solution.
Absolutely. And this is part of the reason why we do so much testing. As we're developing products, but also once we've got the products established, still, as each batch comes in, we test them, we check them, we make sure it meets those quality standards that we set for ourselves.
Yes, of course. We have a great quality process as well as clinician outreach. We want to make sure that post-launch, no matter when this clinician or patient has the product, that we are open to anything that might come up, new changes, new potentials for development to better that solution.
Absolutely.